In this video, we'll talk about tonguing and the attack, how to play them in the most effective way that also allows you to create a full and rich resonating sound. So the basic place to start here is tongue placement, and that's actually quite easy to find. All you need to do is to pronounce the consonant T, like when you say T. You will find your tongue behind and between your two central top teeth, so that's very easy and natural. One of the common challenges players usually face is related to tongue stress and tension, and that immediately leads to fatigue and low endurance, and also to a low quality trumpet tone. Overworking the tongue should obviously be avoided, and the way to do that is to combine tonguing in attack practice with focusing on correct breathing and air usage. Let me show you how. Breathe in Hu and breathe out a deep and warm air breath Tu. And now use the same breathing system and add a precise and relaxed tongue pronouncing the syllable Tu over the breath rather than against it. Sounds like this. Instead of this, if you feel the tension is building up in the throat or in the jaw, then you are holding a little bit too much while tonguing. Continue with little effort as you can. Your breath is the main idea here and the tongue is just riding over it. And now with the horn, instead of this, you get this. So it doesn't just sound better, it feels better and everything is better and life is great. So with this kind of approach you can find a way to tongue and stay relaxed while playing and keeping your breathing system tension free as possible, and that's almost always the key. And what's nice about that off-trumpet tonguing that we did before is that you can practice it anywhere. You don't need the trumpet for that, you can do that anywhere you want. You can set a tempo to that and get a better tonguing in time, feel and coordination. Start slow and step it up as you absorb it over time. 1, 2, 3. Now sometimes when I teach this to my students, the first thing that happens is when they put the horn back to their lips, their sound and everything collapses and comes out completely flat because they get too relaxed and they forget to hold their embouchure. If that happens to you when you try this approach, just make sure you don't forget to hold the corners of your lips when playing. Of course, the center of your upper lip where the buzz happens has to stay relaxed, and in general you're keeping a nice balance between your embouchure and mouthpiece and they are not pushing each other over. A good analogy to our tongue activity while playing the trumpet is to think of a drummer's hand holding his stick and hitting his drum. Just like when we play attacks, how fast will the drummer lose endurance if his arm will hold the stick with too much power? And on top of that, the drum won't resonate as much as it can resonate because of all the tension in the arm and in the stick when you hit it. The same goes with our tongue. We have to be active and precise, but when we feel the base of the tongue and the jaw getting tense, then we pay a price with endurance and tone and resonance, and that's not fun for us. Now, our tongue is made of a set of muscles, and when we practice and build these muscles, there comes a point when we feel some muscle fatigue. Most of us know that feeling, we feel some pain in the base of the tongue. It's important that when you get there, you stop playing and rest at least for as long as you've played. You need to allow these muscles time to recover from what they've been through. In general, don't overwork your muscles and always rest as much as you play. Then the question comes that I'm sure you're interested in: should we switch the articulation syllable when playing in different ranges, and which syllable to use for which range? So range is a lot about airspeed. Try air attacking the syllables tu, ta, te, ti and see what happens to the airspeed when you do that. For me, the syllable tu works best for the lower range because it allows you to play the most open and relaxed tonguing, as I've shown you. It's the most open and round syllable, so you can really feel the warm air flowing behind the tongue, and you get the notion of how tonguing is just really another step in the way of the warm air breath flowing from the diaphragm through your body and into the horn. I start using the syllable te when articulating from the E2 overtone and above, and I use T for tonguing C3 and over that. Many teachers and methods talk about the different tonguing syllables and positions you can use over range. I always found that they are usually all correct in their way and all have great insight, but also there is a lot of over-information and over-analysis at this point. I feel that 99% of trumpet problems can be solved using air correctly, and that tongue positioning over range and syllables over range is something that you'll find out about naturally as you experiment and practice when you stream faster and faster air over range. So hitting the tonguing on that high C note is something like scoring a 3-point shot, and maybe the low C is like an easy shot under the basket. Objectively, when holding a ball on the 3-point line of a basketball court, it seems almost impossible to put that big ball inside such a small rim from such a distance, and still with practice a lot of people manage to do it quite well. But they all have their own individual way to shoot the ball. Everybody has their own shot. I suspect it's pretty much the same thing with trumpet playing, but eventually correct air usage and breathing is the way to get us where we want to go. After we got into all the technical stuff, tonguing and articulation are first a part of our tone and sound creation. They need to be even and consistent and premeditated. In a way, we are a bit like actors or singers in this case. They use style and accent in every genre or language they perform. And if they are any good, then they stay in character and they project reliability and consistency in their performance. The same for us. We too should always focus on finding our most musical way to articulate what we play at that moment. It doesn't matter if it's a concerto, a jazz solo, or whatever. The tonguing and articulation should always be authentic and should fit musically, and always deliver consistency to those who listen to you, which to them will always sound more professional, and that's a good playing habit to have. If you found some of the information in this video helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel for more trumpet content. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comment section, and see you next time.